Well, look what we got here. We got David Vincent in Halifax, Nova Scotia. First time ever.
Yeah.
How does it feel being here?
Well,
You know?
I'm glad to be here. I wish I had an opportunity to stay a little bit longer than I am. Maybe do some fishing.
Fishing.
Yeah.
Interesting. So we're promoting the new album. How's it going? Like up to now, it's still going strong.
Yeah, it's doing well.
Because when you look at the billboards, it's marking different countries that it made success in.
Mm-hmm.
The album, recording it, let's say, would you say it differed from Covenant era?
Well, yeah. I mean, part of it is that the idea of going into like a major, big studio where you're like under the gun and on the clock and recording on 2-inch tape and stuff. That doesn't happen that way anymore. Well, we don't have to do it that way anymore.
So now it's more relaxed atmosphere.
Much more relaxed, too.
For equipment, like, did you change much gear for yourself as a bassist in the recording studio?
I don't think so. I mean, I have the guitars that I use and the amps that I use, and I'm pretty much in. I do a little bit of post-effect stuff, but not a lot. It's pretty natural tone.
Do you, let's say with simulations and stuff, do you ever experiment, with these effect boards that they have nowadays? Like, did you ever look into that?
I have some effects that I use primarily for different things, but I really like natural tone. I use a little bit of grit just because I think it shapes the mids a little nicer on a bass. Blending in a little bit of it. But I'm pretty much good instrument into my little special M80 box, MXR M80 box, and into my amplifiers.
This is a question. You guys disappeared for a little while, and you guys been always on morbidangel.com for how long now? At least 8-10 years, I think. Did you guys always participate online,
Well, we do. These days, website is a website. Social media is probably a little bit more popular. I have a couple of different ones. I have, my personal one that's just for my personal friends, and then I have one that's like a public page, and I participate with both of them. And then we have people that help us with the main one because it gets to be too much. You could spend all day doing some of these things, and I have other things that I also need to do during the day. So.
When you are taking time on the social media, it can suck out the whole day, it would seem. And all of a sudden you're not doing nothing else.
Well, it does do that for some people, but again, I try to compartmentalize things, and I say, okay, well, this is how much time I can spend doing this, and then I move to the number, because there's a lot of different things that I do. So that's one of them.
Since the days, Much Music in Canada, MTV. Much Music did play like Immortal Rights, Where the Slime Live, on Power Hour. Did you think that's where you guys went and it started to spread?
Well, we had some stuff. Really what happened was we did a video for Blessed Are the Sick, the song Blessed Are the Sick, and that got picked up in Europe, but due to content, they wouldn't play it in the States. But when we got to the Covenant record, which got picked up by Warner Brothers for North America, they spent some money on some videos. So we had 2 videos with Rapture and God of Emptiness, and both of which were played like a lot. So we were really fortunate. I mean, it was sort of the right thing at the right time, and we were doing, our thing, and it was like a fresh thing. It had some really good touring, and we worked really, really hard to sort of get. I think that's kind of what really cemented, like Morbid Angel, and it's sort of like in the hearts and minds of music fans.
Why was the video Rapture like taken out of MTV? Because remember, it was like too hardcore or something like that?
No, and honestly, in 1993, when it came out, that was the #1 most played and requested song on Headbangers Ball.
It could have been the Canadian version then. Because I was sure for certain, because I see it was something maybe uncensored, I'm thinking about.
No, you may have been thinking about Blessed Are the Sick, but certainly not Rapture and not God of Emptiness. I mean, God of Emptiness actually was on Beavis and Butthead. And they still replay that episode. So, yeah, I mean, again, that doesn't happen for everyone. It happened for us, I'm very thankful that we had the opportunity to do some of these things. Not everybody has that chance,
Life on the road, would you say it's getting a lot easier? Because when you started out, there wasn't cell phones around, there wasn't these computers and all that stuff,
I don't know whether cell phones make things more convenient. I don't know whether it makes things easier or not, because when you have a cell phone, and people know you have a cell phone, they expect that any time that they call you, that you answer. And sometimes, there's still a choice.
Right.
And people, they don't understand when, if you make a choice not to answer the phone, and sometimes you're busy. Sometimes you have other things, you don't want to break your chain of thought, just because people seem more accessible. And some people give into that. I mean, some people, they live at the mercy of the technology that's around them, either the internet or instant messaging. Everything is so quick now, just immediate, which is, listen, it has some really good points. If I want information about something and I'm researching and I need an answer quick, I can go on the internet and there's a billion things that pop up immediately, which is good. It's a good tool for me. But the downside of that is that it also has really changed the music business quite a bit. I mean, CDs you don't sell CDs anymore. We were in the business of selling CDs, and that business is, for all intents and purposes, dead. Now, I mean, I still buy them. I buy music. I'll buy it from iTunes, or I'll buy it, the physical discs, because I want to. I recognize what that means to the other artists. And if I'm a fan of something, then there's no better way to show that you're a fan than to support the bands that you like.
Yeah, indeed. Let's say a vinyl's starting to come out, again, would you say that the next Morbid Angel album is going to be appearing on vinyl?
Well, the last one did.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I mean, the technology that's involved in vinyl, I mean, there is a certain sound. At first it took me a while to get used to the sound of a CD, but when they started remastering stuff for digital,
right.
Then I could hear stuff. I mean, some of these old records that I've listened to since I was a kid, back in the 70s, when I listen to them now, they've been digitally remastered, I'm hearing things that I really didn't hear before, because there's only so much bandwidth that you can fit on vinyl. Even the master vinyl, you can only make the grooves so thick, and ones and zeros don't care how thick the grooves are. So it's really interesting. I mean, I think we're living in a digital world now. Again, that's not a bad thing, but there are there's goods and there's pluses and minuses. I mean, I never would have thought that when I had my first little Commodore 64 computer, that I'd be able to one day record entire albums on my laptop. Never thought that. I never dreamed of that. But we're living in a time right now where technology is just boom, 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 and we can harness it, and we can take advantage of it, and then we can compartmentalize the things that we find objectionable about it and leave them to the side, which is what I choose to do.
Where do you think metal and death metal is going to be in 100 years from now?
Well, I think that there's always going to be music, and there's always going to be those who push musical boundaries and who get it right, and there's going to be those who just sort of toy at it. But that's the same with any genre. And if humanity is still around 100 years from now, which is that in itself is questionable, I think metal and any genre, any sort of subgenre of metal is still going to be around, absolutely.
What do you do in a day's time, when you hanging out at home, when you're not into music and stuff like that?
You mean aside, what do I do aside from music?
Yeah, basically hobbies and stuff like that.
I like to build cars.
Okay.
I like.
And motorcycles?
Well, I don't build I ride motorcycles, but I build cars. I build motors.
The motors?
Yeah.
So you're a mechanic?
No, I'm a hot rodder.
Hot rodder, okay.
Yeah, I'm a hot rodder. I just finished another one, so when I go home, it should be ready to drive away. I have a few more little things. I was trying to get it done before the show, but you know, I need one more day, I think.
Now, David, also, you guys are going to be embarking on some sort of tour later this summer or in the fall?
In September
Okay.
and October, we have a tour that's North America that's going to include some Canadian dates. And then in November and December, we have a European tour that's going to take us really solid. That's a very solid 2-month tour. So take us right up to the December holidays, and and then we have next year that we're looking at.
Do you foresee a new album in the upcoming future and not so long? Because we waited, a long time.
I do see that. In fact, I mean, we're always writing, so.
Okay. Another question here. Let's say with the whole discography of Morbid Angel, is there a lot of stuff we've never seen yet? Like unreleased tracks?
No.
No. So
No.
we did see most of it.
Well, you mean if there's stuff that's hiding in a vault somewhere? No.
Yeah.
No. Nope.
There's all released. Well, that's good to know. There's nothing hiding. Another thing too, videos. Do you guys have, collections of pro shot videos from all tours that we've not seen? Stuff that you guys have in your own personal collections?
There are a lot of things floating around that we're looking at. People have done, filmed entire shows from it really good, well shot stuff from large festivals with multi-camera. We're looking at all the stuff to see what does it make sense, or is it something that we just sort of leave it in like an underground kind of a thing where the people who can get it can, or just sort of watch it on the internet, or do we make a product out of it? I don't know how. I'm not convinced that products, audiovisual products per se, like a CD or a DVD, are even applicable these days anymore. I'm not convinced of that. I think it's really about, sort of interaction, direct interaction with the fans.
Right.
Live shows, they've various different events. I think that's the key.
Because nowadays it seems like you make your promo video on YouTube, the people watch it, get 100,000 hits or 200,000, and that's it. Then you go to your venues and you sell your merchandise. That's where you get the money mostly nowadays. Would you say like a certain way?
Well, I mean, to a certain extent, yeah, because it's not like, it's funny, we were speaking about this earlier, like MTV is not, I mean, they rarely play music videos anymore.
Right.
And it's not like it was when it first started off, where there was just a big variety of stuff. There's a lot of, reality shows and things that are not to my liking. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's just about music and artistic expression. I like making videos. I really like concept videos, but they're so expensive to do. Like to do it, in a way that's not just going to be, okay, here's the band playing live, because people can come see the band play live or look on YouTube and see a billion videos from different shows around the world.
Right.
But the idea of being able to make like mini movies, as it were, it's very expensive to do. Very expensive to do it and make it the way that you want to make it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, David, that's basically all we'll be taking out of your good time. And
Okay.
Unless you want to continue.
Still
have time?
I'm sure. If you have a few more questions, we'll do it.
Let's say Covenant was recorded and engineered by the Metallica producer.
Mm-hmm.
Where you guys get him to come in those days?
Interesting. Yeah, Fleming. Well, he came in and he wasn't there for the entire tracking. He came in and because he wanted to make sure the drums were a certain way.
Okay.
So he came in for the drums. We pretty much did everything else. He went back to Denmark, and then we flew over to Copenhagen and for the mix. Yeah, it was interesting experience. I enjoyed working with him. He was a really good guy, really smart. Had had a good ear, had good suggestions, and yeah.
Because when you look at it, he made, you know, Metallica's Master of Puppets,
Mhm.
you know,
That's-
very,
yeah.
very high up their album for
Oh, yeah.
sound quality.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, you guys had the opportunity to have him on the best-selling album of all time for death metal,
Mm.
Covenant, which is still standing, I think. As,
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but yeah, I mean, listen, the record did really well, but a lot of these things, listen, Fleming helped, we had a really good team, we have good management, we had a good record label, we had good press people, we had, you know, some good videos that we made, we had, you know, it's not just like, you know, somebody writing a song, it's a team. And I mean, that really is the truth. I mean, you know, once you get at a certain point, you know, our team for that record was, you know, just very, very together. And, you know, again, I mean, I'm thankful for some of these things. Not everybody has the opportunity to do some of the things that we've, you know, had a chance to do. So, you know, this is why, you know, when stepping back from it and looking, you know, so many years later and thinking, wow, you know, the people, it was a gift that people gave us. I mean, you know, we had to work hard to get there, to get that opportunity. But that's why when some of these events come along that are more charitable events, like this is actually a charitable event here, it's a chance for sort of us to give back to you know, the thing is, you know, sort of pushing it forward, you know.
Yeah, Spread the Metal Festival,
Yeah.
first annual.
Yeah.
And that's great to see Morbid Angel coming here. And let's say for recording and writing songs, not recording, but writing the songs in
Mhm.
general, because you write a lot of the lyrics.
Mhm.
Do you find that the style and the way you guys wrote changed a lot from Altars of Madness to now?
Well, it evolves.
Subjects and
It
stuff?
evolves,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I am who I am,
Mhm.
and I write about things that are near and dear to me. There's a lot of different things going on with the lyrics, so you can take it a whole bunch of different ways. Some sort of spiritual themes as well. Yeah, I mean, it spans the globe. It's not narrow. It's as wide as possible.
What's your most favorite songs, you know, still today?
To
You know, from the
perform.
past?
To
you know,
perform?
To perform. I mean, I'm sure there's some you're getting tired of playing.
No, I don't get tired. No, that's the thing. I mean, I enjoy any time I'm up there and performing these songs. It's because I enjoy doing it. Rapture is fun. Where the Slime Live is fun.
Mhm.
They're really all fun, but those two are God, I don't know. I mean, really, when I go down the list, I can't think of anything that's not fun. You know?
So they're all standing the test of time, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. Even for me.
Well,
I
that's
wonder if
good.
you asked Ozzy about Paranoid, if he still has fun doing that.
I don't know how he'd answer that one, you
Right.
know, from 1970 to now,
Exactly.
every night.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that you will never see him perform live without playing that song. I'd bet money on it. Well, but
You know.
if he didn't do it, well,
Yeah.
listen, I don't need to ever hear it again. I can press play in my brain and hear every single note.
Yeah.
Every single note, every single inflection that he's done live over years, which notes his voice is gonna crack on, you know, all of it. But, you know, he has to do it, just same thing as, I mean, Judas Priest, you think that are they gonna not play Living After Midnight? I doubt it.
Yeah,
You know?
you're right. And,
Is Iron Maiden not gonna play The Trooper? I doubt it. You know, we can go on and on. So,
AC/DC Highway to Hell.
they will never not play that song.
Mm.
But why not?
Metallica Enter Sandman now?
Well, listen, that record was very divisive for them, the Black record. I think it's a wonderful record.
Mhm.
But I also like, you know, Master of Puppets. I like Ride the Lightning, probably Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and then Black. And that's, you know, for me, I mean, Black was, at first when I heard it, I'm like, I don't know about this, but the more time I gave it, I was like,
Mhm.
okay, I get it. There's some really good songwriting on that. So,
It's like that. The music always evolves for those guys. And you guys evolved also
Yeah.
with the new one. And I like that album you guys just released.
cool.
It's quite interesting. And when you guys go so fast, I think it's the fastest album yet, correct?
Well, we have a drummer that just is, I mean, no problem, 280 BPM.
That is an incredible speed you guys are using.
Yeah.
Incredible. And let's say for performing this live, no sweat at all.
Oh, there's a lot of sweat. There's a lot of sweat. No, it's all about the effort.
Yeah.
And we get in there and we dig hard and we give it. Well, you'll see.
I shall
You'll
see. I shall see Morbid Angel live
Indeed.
tonight. Well, David, Vincent, very good honor and pleasure to meet you because you've been high up there on my list for a long time. I've always listened to Morbid Angel.
Well, I'm glad we can make that happen. Cheers,
Well,
buddy.
thank you, my friend.